So, we are going to finish off factoring today, and we are going to be doing what's called AC factoring. This one is not just one conditioning factoring. It's too cold outside for that. So we're going to be AC factoring. So, before, when we did our end-to-middle factoring, they all had something in common. They all had x squared. That number in front was just a 1. So today, that doesn't matter.
Get to class, nerds.
So we are going to factor this 2x squared plus 11x plus 12. So I have this 2 out in front here.
Yeah.
But, so even though it's not a 1, I can still factor it. And so what we're going to do is we first need to find AC. So remember, this is our standard form. It goes A, B, C, right?
Yeah.
We're going to find AC, which is A times C. So we're going to go 2, A is 2, C is 12. We're going to multiply them together and get 24. And after I do that, it's kind of like a combination of end-to-middle factoring plus what we did yesterday. So I want to know what times what equals my AC equals 24, but
Well,
adds up to 11.
Well, I don't know, Mr. Goku.
I want to know what times what is 24, but adds up to 11. So it's kind of like end-middle factoring, except instead of doing this 12, I'm doing 12 times 2. It's not 84.
That would be 32, doesn't
Oh, 83.
it? Yeah, nope.
Alright. It would be 8 and 3. So 8 times 3 is 24, right? And 8 plus 3 is 11. So I need this 8 and I need this 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take B, I'm going to take this middle piece right here, this 11x. I'm going to take 11x and I'm just going to split it apart to be a 3x. Actually, hang on, I'm going to check and make sure I'm doing it right. I'm going to put a 3x for my first one, and then I'm going to go plus 8x. 3x plus 8x is still 11x, right?
Yeah.
So what we did is we split apart this 11x into 3x and 8x. And I'm just going to rewrite my whole problem, but instead of 11x, 3x plus 8x. So I've got a 2x squared plus 3x plus 8x plus 12. Yeah,
How could you split the X then?
Can we just skip step 2?
You just made it. You just gave it one there.
I know.
Would you
You're gonna
guys
see why.
split?
We split it apart. 3x plus 8x is 11x, right?
Yeah.
Didn't I have 11x right here in the middle?
Yeah.
So it's still the same amount of x's. I just split it into 2 smaller pieces. Because what I'm going to do now that I've split this up.
Does it matter how you put the 8 and 3?
No, and I'm going to show you that in a little bit. So it doesn't matter what order you put. We could have gone 8x first, and I'm just going to show you that it doesn't matter here, but I wanted to make sure to do it this way first because my next way is I'm going to flip the 8x and 3x around. Okay, so all I did so far was split up b into 3x plus 8x. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put parentheses around the first 2 and parentheses around the second 2. And I'm going to factor out whatever I can from each parenthesis. So I'm going to look here at 2x squared plus 3x. What can I take out of both of these?
Nance?
Just an x, right? I can't take out a number. So I'm going to factor out an x from my first parenthesis. Factor that out here. And then for my second parenthesis, what can I take out of 8x and 12?
4.
I take out a 4, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to factor out a 4. So I'm doing like 2 mini factorings, kind of all at the same time. So when I factor out an x,
Mr. Goki, do you have a key out here
Nope.
for
or
the construction, where the supplies are?
the construction room?
Yeah.
The one right here?
Not
the
right
couch or the
here,
one-
third
The one-
one.
the next
Oh,
one.
the one right over by the like exit?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Try these two.
Alright.
Okay, so we are factoring out an x from the first one and a 4 from the next one. So on my first one, I'm going to factor out an x, and I have a 2x plus 3, right? And then I factored a 4 out of my next one. And I've got a 2x plus 3 left over.
I was like, that looks like my name.
Did I get it?
I should be close.
Alright, so you see how we have 2x plus 3, 2x plus 3 in each one? I got a 2x plus 3 right here, and a 2x plus 3 right here. This is how we know we got it right. So, I am almost done. We're going to split this into 2 parentheses, kind of like we did with end-middle factoring. Except, my first parenthesis is going to be whatever I factored out. So I factored out an x, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I factored out a 4, and was this 4 positive or negative?
It was positive.
That was a positive 4, right? So I'm going to go plus 4. My second part for my answer is I got 2x plus 3, 2x plus 3, so I'm just going to pick one to write down. It doesn't matter which one because
I
they're
feel like
exactly
we've
the
done
same.
this before.
So I get x plus 4, 2x plus 3. This is my factored form now.
It's just
I just factored
a
this.
elongated version. of what I was doing.
I didn't even realize that those
I feel like we did a simpler version of this in
Like both of them.
Algebra 1.
Simpler version?
Yeah.
Out of this. AC factoring? Actually, I think we did do this in Algebra 1.
Yeah, we did.
But it was this. It was the same stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's,
Yeah.
That looks very familiar. What?
I understand how you went from the purple writing to green writing.
Yeah.
How'd you?
Okay, so we got our 2 answers. So, you see how I counted x and a positive 4, right? So basically, I took those and I shoved them into my first parenthesis. And then you see how I added 2x plus 3, 2x plus 3? I just picked one, because they're exactly the same, right? So I just picked one, and I put it in my second parenthesis. These are the 2 parentheses. So like in the middle, we got 2 parentheses. For AC factoring, we get 2 parentheses. So we'll do this again. We'll do this. This is all we're doing today. So,
I actually like this because
yeah.
Shut up, Boston. Just do this hard.
So we're gonna flip it around a little bit here in just a second, and we're gonna do it this time. We're gonna put 8x first, just so you see what it looks like, and then we're gonna practice a few of these, and that's it. So we are just AC factoring today. Sorry.
Oh, I had a right idea this
no,
time.
you
And then he just goes
I
down.
forgot. Are you done,
Hold
Kayla?
on, hold on.
Kayla, are you done?
Yes, okay.
Oh, I didn't.
So wait. Can we just skip step 2 or do we have to
Don't
skip
say
step 2?
Right here.
Yeah, because technically we could just split the 11.
If you can do it like in your head, yes. Like you don't have to show step 2. If you can say, oh, that's 24. What times what is 24? Adds up to 11.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. I'm not going to skip it because I want to show all my
yeah,
steps.
that's for teaching purposes.
yeah. All right. So real quick, let's say we started with 8x first instead of 3x.
Oh.
So the steps are the same. So this is, I'm basically redoing step 3 down here. But I started with 3x on this one, and on the next one I'm starting with 8x. So the steps are the same. I'm going to put parentheses around the front 2 and around the back 2. And even though it doesn't really matter right now, make sure you put your parentheses around your like side. This is a plus 3x, so I'm going to put my parenthesis right there around the plus. And then I have to see what can I factor out of each thing. So what can I take out of 2x squared and 8x?
2x.
2x, right? 2x. How about a 3x and a 12?
3.
3.
Was it brown?
I don't know, I just picked a color. Something wrong with brown? Alright, so I took a 2x out of the first one. Did you say question, Kayla?
Yes, I did. Can you
Oh.
make that a little bigger, please?
I
No.
guess.
What the heck?
Alright.
I'm sorry.
question is that?
Sorry, then move over.
Where you at?
I'll accommodate you.
better.
Okay. So to make it so people can see it, we're going to take out of the 2x out of the first
Is it
one,
just numbers?
and then a 3 out of the second one.
Right, yeah.
Alright. So I factor out a 2x from the first one, and I have an x plus 4 left over. I took a 3 out of the second one, and then I have an x plus 4 left over. So, just like before, my answers, I'm going to have 2 parentheses. My first parenthesis, I get these pieces that I factored out. My 2x, and because this was a positive 3, I'm gonna go plus 3.
Can we just bring that down?
Yeah. No, I said factor.
Theater game.
And then for my second parenthesis, I'm just gonna take this last piece and go x plus 4. So we got the same answer, they just got flipped around from before, which doesn't actually matter. Last time I started with x plus 4, this time I started with 2x plus 3, doesn't matter. So just because you don't write it down at start of step 3 exactly like other people, doesn't mean you're wrong.
What if you can't factor anything out on the last step?
Then you're taking out?
What? It's just one?
Can it be a negative one?
Yes. So when we do these, you have to factor something out. And yes, it could be negative 1.
Make it positive. But then we make it-
Alright. So we're going to do a couple of these still. So we're going to do part B here.
It doesn't have to be the same.
So on part B, I'm going to AC factor this.
So it's one.
Remember I have A, and then B, and then C.
But that has-
So if I'm going to AC factor this, I'm going to do 4 times, not just 3, but negative 3.
It's just one.
Let me try this, man. You get negative 12? Alright, James.
No, see, 'cause
I want to know, so I get negative 12 here. I want to know what times what is negative 12 and adds up to the thing in the middle?
Oh, God.
Negative 4.
Oh, yeah. It would be negative.
Wait, where'd you get
then
negative
it
12?
would be
Positive.
No.
positive
You
2.
have to be-
You gotta do A times C.
That's
And
right.
that's how you got
That's
I
what
12.
we'll split apart.
forgot.
It's
B is what we'll
6
split apart.
So
times
B's
negative
invisible
2.
for the first like 3, 5
Just gonna leave a negative now for now because I
Close.
don't want to
What
make it
times
positive
what?
later. if it's
2
wrong.
times
It
negative
goes negative 5 and adds up to negative
Oh, that's it.
4.
Alright, so we're going to go.
In class.
So I
Negative
did
6 times
AC, A times C here. A was 4,
Let's just do
C
this.
was negative 3 to get negative 12. And James says, well, if you do negative
4 times 3 is
6,
12.
actually I think he said 2 times negative
Well,
6.
Yeah.
You negative
4
12.
and 3, right?
Yep.
2 plus negative 6 equals negative 4.
4 and 3.
Alright, that was our step 1.
Oh, for 7.
Remember, I gave you the step-by-step directions, so if you're not sure what to do, check your steps. Step 1 said find
Does that work?
AC, and then say what times what equals that, and adds up
So-
3
to...
times,
Now I got
4 times
4.
3 is 12.
Instead of a
Oh,
4,
that's right.
it's negative 4.
Mhm.
Negative
4
6.
plus 3
Yeah,
is
so, we're gonna split apart this negative 4x,
Take x out of
and we're gonna split it apart using the numbers we just found.
First we take out 2x.
So I'm gonna go plus 2x because it's positive, and then I'm gonna go minus 6x. Because it was negative there. And you know what? I'm just going to write the rest of my problem. I had a 4x squared in the front,
What about
and then I had a minus 3 at the very end. So all we did, we did step
It
1,
has to be 4.
we found 2 and negative 6. Step 2 was split it apart, and then step 3 is where we put in our parentheses, and we factor.
Maybe we should watch.
So parentheses, parentheses,
Probably good.
parentheses, parentheses. Remember, the parentheses on your second one should be around the negative also. So we want to keep that negative there. Okay, so let's look at our first parenthesis. What can we take out of the first one?
Divided by 2.
2
X.
and an x.
2 and
We
an
take a
X or
2x
2x?
out of both of these, and we're going to toss it out in front here. And on the
And
second
it's
one,
positive,
what number
it's
can I
not
take out?
down like-
3.
So-
Negative 3.
Negative.
What we want to do is we want to be careful. So I forgot to mention this earlier, but I always want this, when I factor it out, I always want this number right here to be positive. I want that to be positive.
See,
Okay.
so it is negative.
So we're going to factor out a negative 3. Because negative 6 over negative
that.
3 is a
I don't think
positive
they
number.
have to be equal.
So I really want this number right here to be a positive. So you might have to take out a negative, which is fine, no big deal. Alright, so I'm taking out a 2x in my first one. And I have, let's see, I got a 2 and an x. And then plus
1x.
just
1.
1, right?
Yeah.
I took out a negative 3 for my second one. And then let's see,
2x.
negative 6x over negative 3 is positive 2. And I go x. And then negative 3 over negative 3 is a positive, so I'm going to go
Oh,
plus
they're
1.
all the same.
Like that. And we have done all of our work. We just need to write down our final answer. So 2 parentheses,
We need to get the positive. So we
just like before. In my
So
first
this is
one, I
negative.
take out these pieces.
no.
Negative 2x,
2x
minus
minus
3.
3.
Yeah,
Just
that's
in
how we
2x
get rid
plus
of
1.
that.
And then 2x plus
Those
1.
would be
You
positive.
do it.
So that- that
You're correct.
You still get the same answer.
So, they just
What are we doing in the back?
If we do negative x, then it has to be negative 3.
So you
Oh,
Just divide
These are like Georgetown lows?
And this one you divide by 1, because you have to take something out.
Oh, wait, then that's switch.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point. So let's,
Wait.
yes. What's your question?
Talking about that. No, it's about good Dave.
Okay. So let's actually, Devin brought up a good point, and actually, I actually just forgot what you said, Austin, earlier. So,
What did I say?
alright, so we always want these ones in front to be positive when we do this. And then there's one other thing. So let's actually flip this around real quick. Let's repeat this step right here for just a second. We're not going to go all the way. So let's say instead of doing my 2x first, I went 4x squared, and then I did minus 6x. And then I did plus 2x, and then minus 3. Let's just do that real quick. So when we factor something out, the first one is pretty easy. I still take out a 2, right? 2x. Oh, I've got parentheses. There we go. I'm going to take out a 2x from the first one, right? That parentheses. What about on the second parenthesis? What can I factor out of a 2x and a minus 3?
Nothing. A 1.
A 1. So I always have to take something out. So nothing goes into 2 and 3 except 1. So I'm going to factor out a 1 and bring that out. So you always have to factor something out. So when I factor, I'm going to go like 2x minus 3, and then I'm going to factor out a 1. Oops, 1, and then go 2x minus 3.
Good call.
What is this for?
It's the same problem. I'm just showing you, you
Oh.
always have to factor something out. So on this parenthesis, I had to factor out a 1.
Hey, babe.
It's not.
So no matter what, you can factor out something.
Yes, you always have to factor out something.
In each parentheses, you have to factor out something.
Yes.
We did this one.
Different.
No,
No,
please no,
we're
please
gonna
no.
we're gonna do it together.
So it
But
doesn't
you guys
have
are
to
gonna help
be
me out a
equal.
little bit in this one.
I think
Okay.
the first two have to be equal. The second one's though.
So you guys are gonna help me out with this one.
Okay.
But
So we're gonna go
ABC
through
above-
step by step.
Okay, okay.
What?
So all the answers you've gotten before have been equal, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Do they have to be equal? Because those ones are.
Right here?
No, up. Top right.
Okay.
Top right.
What?
Those are different.
Yeah.
So let's
So only the first
number.
number has to be the same and positive?
Alright, so the part in parentheses has to be the same.
So all of it, the whole part.
Yeah, like I
Then
needed.
why is that 2x minus 3 and 2x?
So okay, so let me back up. This is going to be 2x plus 1, right? And then 2x minus 3. As long as I have both pieces in my final answer, it doesn't matter the order. What is always the same is when I do it this way, like okay.
Oh wait, never mind. I know what that
don't
was. I
explain.
thought that was the.
Oh, we thought that was the answer.
Yeah, we thought.
Oh,
I mean, it is
no.
answered, but like we
It's
thought it was the
E.
one above it.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's separate. So
Okay.
like when you do these, this parenthesis will always match this parenthesis. So if you flip it around the other way, these parentheses might be different, but they still match each other. If that makes sense. It doesn't. Never mind.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So we're gonna keep going through. You guys are gonna help me out with this one. So let's go through and pick somebody
We
random.
just don't know.
Let me pick somebody random. To start us off, Jaden.
I think we missed it.
What's the first thing I'm gonna do?
You see.
Is that plus 3? Yeah, it is.
What?
You have to take a number out of each of them.
Plus 3.
Yeah. What are we doing with them?
I don't know.
AC.
Hey, let Jaden answer.
Oh, sorry.
Let him answer.
3?
Yeah. So what's our first step?
Does that mean this one's not possible?
Bro, have you
No.
never paid attention?
What's A times C?
Oh, 15.
15, right?
Oh, cosine of x.
Yeah.
There we go.
I
All right.
don't like it.
So we gotta do A times C, 3 times 5. We get 15.
Are
All
we
right.
gonna get problems that aren't possible?
I don't believe so. All right, Kayla, what am I doing next?
Oops.
Aren't you figuring it out how to like what goes into what?
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
So what times what equals?
Are we sure it's negative 3?
Like what do they have to equal?
I
When we
don't think
multiply?
it is.
Because negative 2 times 3.
No.
Negative
Wait,
Negative 2 times negative 3 is.
15.
So
What does what equals 15?
Yeah.
what equals?
All right, and then what do they have to add up to be, Kayla?
8.
It's negative two.
Hey, Ellen.
Negative two.
Well, that's negative 5.
Oh, it has to. You
Eight.
got 5. So it's positive two, positive.
Wait, where
I
did
literally
you
get
How
it.
is that?
What?
where did you get 15 at?
AC?
A times
3
C.
times 5. AC.
Then it would be negative.
And then 1 can't be positive.
Sorry, that's your job.
Then no.
Alright, we're gonna keep going. Carissa, give me 2 things you can multiply to get 15.
Yeah.
5 and 3. Chris.
Alyssa,
Sorry.
Okay, this one's
Josh.
impossible.
give me 2 things you can multiply to get 15, please, Carissa.
I'd rather not. The other one already said so.
Alright, is 5 plus 3 8?
No.
No.
Carissa? Wait. Is 5 plus 3 8, Carissa? Did she give us the right one? Yep. So we go 5 times 3 is
What's the problem
15.
in the corner?
5 plus 3 is 8.
I
Raven,
like
what are we
to be
doing next?
segregated.
Just 'cause it's yellow?
Yeah, just because it's yellow.
I'm just getting down the line.
Simpsons, it was a funny show.
Hush. What are we doing next, Raven? Alright. What is step 1 said we had to find this 5 and this 3, right? What is step 2? Look back on your notes. What does step 2 say?
Erase the rest of the word.
Where'd you go get him?
No, if you want.
Go get, I feel
No,
like
no, sorry. We are on the start of step 3 now. Sorry, what's the start of step 3 say?
Divergent.
No,
cross
no,
out, so
no.
weird. Oh.
Let Raven answer.
everything's
You're on.
blurry.
Yeah.
It says right here.
No,
Oh.
not yet. There's
Oh,
one
I've
thing
had
before
my
that.
glasses for years.
Is that,
Yeah.
what do we do that to,
That's what we're doing after this step.
wait, what do we do that to?
Alright, Raven, what's it say right after step 3? Yes, we're gonna rewrite it. So, we are going to change this 8x. We're gonna change it to be a 5x and a 3x.
No, I mean for the rest of the
So
year.
that's what we're splitting apart. So we got 3x squared plus 5x plus 3x plus 5.
Alright.
Okay,
Wait, oh.
I feel like we did
We
it
do
wrong.
it to the middle
We
one?
definitely did wrong.
what?
We do that to the
Okay,
middle
so it's,
Yes, we split apart that
Like,
8x
every
and 5
single
3.
time?
No way.
Yes, that's all we
you had to
split
know
up.
because
Or Maya, what am I gonna
it
put
would
my
be negative
parentheses
5. It
around?
doesn't work.
This is different. That's a different one.
Oh, this one.
Okay,
Okay.
where's my other one?
Yes, you're right.
These ones, right? Alright, so we're gonna keep going. Alyssa, what can I factor out of this first one?
Hang on. Sorry. Let me, okay. What'd you say?
What can I factor out of the first one? First parenthesis.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
Yep, we can take an X out, right? Anything else?
No.
No.
Alright, LMA, what can I take out of the second parenthesis? Just a 1. I have to take something out of it. The only thing I can is 1. Alright, I'm factoring out an X. Austin, what do I get after I factor out the X? On my first parenthesis.
one?
Yeah.
You get 3x plus 5.
Yep.
Oh, 6 negative 1.
Yeah.
Dazen, what do I get when I factor out 1 for my second parenthesis?
3x plus 5.
Yeah, that's already easy.
So 6. Right?
Alright, and then we are almost done. Thomas, what's the last thing we gotta do?
Checking decimals.
To the thingy where you put it in the
Oh, what about 6 minus
Alright.
1?
So what's my first parenthesis?
3x plus
I forgot to do this one.
Which one?
No.
1.
You're close. So we do have a plus 1. What's gonna go in front of the plus 1?
Minus 1x.
Oh, minus 1.
Oh.
This X right here.
Oh, say that right.
Oh, so it's x plus
Okay.
1.
Okay, and then Jane, what's our last parenthesis gonna be?
Let me take the test.
3x plus 5.
What are you doing?
Yeah, good question.
And then that's our final answer.
Need a binder check.
Alright,
You know my
you guys are gonna try one now. So you guys are gonna try this one in the box. I think I'm gonna put it on another slide just so we got space for it. So get started on this one in the box
Because
if you haven't already.
Still negative x?
dropped out negative.
Keep that thing over so I
No,
can
the first
see
one.
it
Oh
again.
yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah, I didn't
Scroll down.
Okay.
So starting the one in the box, and you guys are gonna help me out with it again, kind of like we just did, and then that'll be it.
Wait, what did you do?
Thank you.
So you factored negative 2x?
So then it's
And then that's
negative
3x.
x plus 3.
Geez, how much
That's
did
5x.
you write, woman?
What's this? It's 6x.
We get 6 minus 1, man.
And then minus 2x.
And you divide it.
Divided by, oh, yeah, divided by.
I still think we did it wrong. 15 minutes remaining, look, we gotta hustle up, man.
Yeah, oh man.
It's just divided by 2x.
Let's do it.
When we divided by negative 2x, then it was just
James, look
3x.
again.
Oh! You like it? Is it Satchmones? Is that Satchmones?
Kofi,
Magi?
I have a question.
Is he playing JV? Playing AE.
What an idiot. Okay,
I
I
still
don't wanna
think
do
we did it.
this.
So
Ninja
2x.
Ninja has lunch with
If
me.
you divide it by 2x,
This
then,
is just 2x.
no, you factor negative
No, I
2x.
don't wanna do it.
And that would make this just positive x.
Oh, yeah, so you just factor 2x. Oh, yeah, wait.
See?
No, but either way, because then those would both be positive, then you can just factor out the negative one from this, and that would make it positive. Negative. So either way, it'd be equal.
Today? Tomorrow. I'll do tomorrow.
You can get 2 answers for this.
So it's gonna be a real
That's
referral.
good?
Okay, I'll do it tomorrow, for sure.
What'd you say?
You can get 2 answers for this.
Okay.
Okay.
That's weird.
And I gotta write his name so
You
you
got
don't
a
forget.
positive and then a negative, and you go both ways. Okay, this one, it's caused so much trouble.
This one right now?
Yeah.
Just cause we're idiots.
We did it like 3 times over, and
Because we're
we
idiots.
found it.
Alright, well, let's go over it together.
We still
No,
think
we're
it's
good.
wrong.
We know that.
Okay, anyhow, real quick.
Real quick, probably eating in class.
Devin, that's you. And any human that eats at home. You say eating at your house?
That's not the answer though. It says we gotta do, 2x. This one?
No.
Yeah, and then
What?
just bring one down.
No, see what?
We're just gonna do
6
negative
minus
x.
1.
See what we did up there? Oh. This is right here. This is right here.
Alright, so let's go over this one since some people are having troubles.
And then just bring one down.
Alright, Devin, what's our first
So
step?
you do
know.
whatever you factor by.
What do you get?
Put
Negative
negative
6.
And then you
Okay.
bring whatever.
I wanna know what times what equals negative 6
What's negative x?
and adds up to 5. Alright, Ermaya, what did we just say for our two things?
I know in my head.
Oh.
Negative 1 and
Yeah,
6.
get it now. Let's go.
Okay,
So this
so
is it for?
what are we gonna do next? Raven.
Oh!
Yeah.
So we'll go backwards.
Yeah, it has to
But
be.
we have to get. Let's do 2x.
I got trash.
Almost the same
And then
question
do
as
this
last
one by
time.
one.
Actually, I think it is the same question as
Okay.
last time. Yep, we're gonna rewrite it. So, I'm gonna go negative 2x
2x.
minus 1x plus 6x plus 3. That's a terrible 3, but oh well.
Oh, let's do 4x and then
Alright.
do 3x for this.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Kayla, what am I doing next? Going backwards.
Aren't you putting them in parentheses maybe?
Yep.
So
Put
it
them in
just
parentheses.
And then you
No,
distribute.
that wouldn't work.
And not distribute, we're gonna
Because
factor
we-
out.
What
Opposite of
the
that.
thing is?
Alright, Jaden, what can I take out of my first parenthesis?
1x.
No, it'll be a
X plus
square
1
right
and
there.
then x plus 1.
What was that?
Okay, yeah.
Negative 1x, yep. Negative 1x. Or negative x, it's the
4x.
same
It'd be
thing.
4x plus.
Devin, did I already tell you?
No.
Alright, what can I take out of the second parenthesis?
Oh, I get this last part now. Okay.
3.
And then it's
Factor
the
that
1x
out.
plus 1.
Put that out in front.
Alright.
Put this one out in front. Alright, so I got negative 1x. James, what do I get after I take out that negative 1x? What's left over in here?
Negative 2x squared.
Negative 2x, because x squared over x means we just have a single x left. Alright, then keep going.
Okay, let's see. What are they doing?
Wait, that doesn't make sense.
6x
Because
plus
we
3.
divide-
Oh no, what's this part?
Oh, negative 1x.
I meant just.
But-
Isn't it gone now?
The x is gone, right?
Yeah.
Negative x.
And what's negative 1 over negative 1?
1.
Positive.
But
Positive
same
one.
thing here. though. If you
Positive.
divide
So it'd be
by
plus
4x,
one?
then
So
divide
plus
by
1.
here.
I'm at 4.
Plus
Alright, and then we are
No, you can divide by 4x there.
we are taking out a
Because there's an
3.
x there, and there's
And
no x there.
Thomas, what do we have left after we factor out that 3?
So it works. Because look,
Wait.
4x,
Hold on.
Negative 1x.
and
Right
then
here.
you divide by 4x, 4x goes away, it's just
Oh.
1. There's no x.
But there's nothing.
Is this your
It's just
answer?
1.
I don't know.
What's your answer?
2.
What's 6x over 3? 2x. What's 3 over 3?
4x plus 3, right?
One.
X plus 1.
Okay, so we are almost done. I just need my 2 answers now.
Let's see what
Dazen, what's in my first parenthesis?
Negative x plus 3.
Negative x or negative 1x plus 3.
No, it's
And my second parenthesis, what, Austin?
2x plus 1.
Is this the one you were having trouble with?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just stupid idiots.
We did it wrong the first time.
We put negative 2x and negative 3.
And then we're like,
Or
that
Or
adds
negative 2,
negative
negative
5.
3. Bro, wait.
Yeah, that'll do it. Alright, that's it.
We finished it before
To
you
give you
go.
guys more time, we're gonna skip the exit ticket.
Ah!
You guys got lots of good practice. I'll put the homework on Google Classroom and just, actually it's already on Google Classroom. I'll give you the numbers in just a minute.
Okay.